Links family, greetings from Malawi. I'm Sam, the Africa region coordinator for Links, and it's my privilege just to encourage us this month as we think about what's happened in October, but also as we build our way up to the end of the year. This month has been great. We've been able to have one of our first teams in a long time. They came to Malawi to do some community healthcare training and also have some time with all of our Malawi and Zambia partners in a summit to encourage one another together. So it's been great to have that again. We're looking forward to 2023, where we're going to have more opportunity for more teams to come out. But we've also seen the amazing resilience and perseverance of our partners that have been continuing to train up people, continuing to grow new healthcare community leaders in their localities, in these places that don't have much resources to start off with, but they're using what they have, whether it just be knowledge, whether it just be simple things as water filters, or just knowledge about trees like moringa trees to bring up nutrition, just things like this that can be passed on and passed on again as people train up each other. It's been a privilege this year as well as the African Region Coordinator to go to different African countries as well, to see our partners working across Uganda, in Kenya. We've started up some new MEDs, so micro enterprise development, and it's just been a privilege to see those things still happening in the situation that we have, where lots of things are on the decrease and things are on the struggling end of just making ends meet, which things are quite a lot of the time anyway. But one of the things when we came together with the partners in the summit, there was about eight different organizations there, all visionary leaders for their different areas that they feel that they are called to by God to see his kingdom being built, and just coming together and sharing experiences, sharing what's going on, where it is hard, where it is tough, where the struggles are there, where things have not been going like we would want them to see, and but also the great opportunities that have arisen and the ability to make something out of what is very little there. So I want to thank you, just to start off with, thank you for continuing to support Links as we partner with these amazing leaders. And just to encourage you that the little resource and the little encouragement, the trainings that are going on are making impact, and we're seeing hundreds if not thousands in the long term being brought out of poverty situations, being empowered. We've been seeing vulnerable groups like girls get back into education or to keep in the education. We're seeing vulnerable elderly people being able to have food and support from their community. We've seen people without hope and saying, what is next? What things can happen? And how are we going to keep going in this economy right now of high inflation and hard to get hold of things, hard to see. Even here in Malawi, the currency has been devalued, and that has impacted many people. So to have this opportunity to come together, to be even business leaders or leaders of churches, to come together and to share the burdens, but also to say, what do we have? What things do we actually have in our hands now? One of the things we looked at with the summit was looking at your assets, looking at your social assets, looking at your financial assets, looking at your physical assets, your natural assets. Are we using them to the best of our ability? It's so easy for us to look at what we don't have and what we do need in times that are when we are squeezed and pressed down. But I want to encourage you, as we encouraged each other in the summit, that it's time to drop those nets deep and wide, just as the disciples were encouraged by Jesus to do that at that time, when they were like, we've fished, we've done what we can, but we were encouraging each other, okay, it's still okay to press deeper, and to see what God is going to do in the time of exile, in the time of pressure, in the time of even persecution. And isn't it interesting that a lot of the Israelites' story is God encouraging them to step out when they're in the moment of persecution, or when they're in the moment of exile, when they're in the moment of oppression. In Jeremiah, we always remember those verses. God has those great plans for us, plans to prosper us and to encourage us and to have a good future for us. But before that, he basically says to them, where you are right now in exile, build houses, settle down, plant gardens, eat what they produce, marry. What else does he say? He says, increase there, do not decrease. Also seek peace and prosperity in the city that I have carried you into exile. Pray for it, because if it prospers, you will prosper too. When I was coming back the other day from the office here in Malawi, and there's a lot of roads being done, and it's normally this time of the year, it's dusty, there's dust everywhere, the wind picks up, and it's really, really, really hot. But what's making it worse at the moment is all the roads are being redone. We're finally going to get a triple carriageway, whatever. Yeah, we've had a few dual carriageways for quite a few years, but now we get a triple one because of the traffic that's building up. And you see all these big trucks with lots of dirt, and they come, and I remember as a kid getting the sand and putting it in one of those little trucks, and then pulling it up and seeing it, the sand come out, and to have that kind of motion. And it was just fascinating to see that it has to go to a certain level. It has to tip to a point where the weight of it and the gravity of it pulls it down, and it actually goes onto the road. Otherwise, there'd be still sand left in. There'd still be dirt left in the truck, in the one that's carrying that. And I just thought that's a picture of what we can tend to do in these times where it is discouraging. There are things that we have to pause and we have to go, it's not working out as I'd planned. But as these verses encourage us, it's a time to increase, not to decrease. And God has given us, each one of us, something in our truck. There's some dirt, there's something that's put there now. So maybe we need to take stock of it. We need to look at it and go, okay, what is in there? What is in there ready to tip? And God's encouraged us to tip it all, to put to that point where it all comes out onto the King's highway, onto the highway of holiness, onto the way of our Maker Jesus, and for his kingdom to see grow. Jesus came in that time of persecution and oppression by the Roman Empire, and that's when he said, the kingdom is now. Let's start building now. So I hope this is encouraging to you wherever you're at. It encouraged us at the time with the partners to say, look, what do we have already? But we'll be encouraged in this time to bring whatever we have to God, but also to be active in how we increase our ability in whether it's time, whether it's connections, whether it's finance, whether it's our physical assets, whatever we have. What are we being encouraged to extend out when everything around us seems to be shrinking? We can still be wise in it. We can still make decisions that are wise, but we can also trust that when we're building with God, when we're partnering with Jesus in building his highway, it's going to be good. It's going to lead us to a place of peace. It will lead us to a place of prospering for his sake and for his glory. So have a blessed month. Thank you again for encouraging us with resources. You mean a lot to us, and as we said to the partners together, we're in this together. We're in this building, this highway for the kingdom together, and you're part of it. God bless you.